Hi, guys. Welcome to Uptown TV Podcast, an online platform where we can share our ideas on lifestyle and entertainment, music and arts, adulting and relationships, and many more. With me today is my co host, Wenny. What's up, Wenny?
Hi, Carla, and hello to all of our fellow Uptowners. For this episode, Carla and I will be sharing our secrets to time management. I know for some of you, especially those who are just, starting their respective careers,
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes kasi you really feel overwhelmed with the amount of workload na, sometimes you have difficult time balancing, especially work and yung personal life, right? So in this episode, we would be sharing with you some of our techniques to cope with, the seemingly endless work here in front of us. Tama, Carla?
True, Wenny. And just a disclaimer, we are not experts in time or stress management, but rather we would just like to share some of the ways we handle the everyday stress that we encounter. To give a background, Wenny runs her own business while taking care of her three sons.
Yes. And si Carla naman is a solo parent. So, she's juggling her professional, personal life. And, I'm pretty sure that every one of us is handling our own stressors every day, especially during this pandemic. And, in this episode, we'd like to list down our top 5 secrets to time management, of course.
Okay, so let's start. First off is planning and or prioritization. As the saying goes, failing to plan is planning to fail. And it is very true. Kaya ako, I make sure to plan out my activities in both work and personal life. I personally find that having a planner is very, very important. And I'm very particular with my planners. It has to be a weekly planner and must have enough writing space. So you may ask, why weekly? Meron kasing monthly, may parang daily planner, di ba? But why weekly? Well, I find that a weekly planner is just right to see all the details of my daily deliverables, and it gives me enough space to adjust my workload in one go. My days tend to be full packed kasi, so I need to see all my deliverables for the week, and I can see which days I am full and which days I am more lenient or have more time. It also gives me a sense of which days I can take a break, usually right before busy weeks. As much as possible, I allot my weekends for my family, so I make sure to finish every deliverable by Friday to ensure that I have enough time for my kids and other housework.
Wow, Carla, you are really a planner, ano? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I can actually remember, no, na every things that we do here in Uptown, you've
Mm.
been doing it on a calendar and, you've been
Oo.
sharing me the calendar that you have. And
Yeah.
yeah, sobrang very helpful, no, having a planner. Ako
Mm-mm.
naman, since I run my business, I find that delegating is, a major part of time management.
Mhm.
So in running a business kasi, 'di ba, you have to oversee everything from operations to marketing, from finance to HR, lahat ikaw eh.
Mhm.
So that's why it's very important for me, ah. It's very important to delegate tasks, you know which tasks that can be delegated to your employees and place your trust in them that they can deliver. Dito papasok yung tamang training sa employees. That way, you are assured that you can leave the minor things to them and, you can focus on the bigger and more important tasks. Yun. So, there are people kasi na have a hard time delegating,
Mhm.
especially yung mga tao, I wouldn't say na control freak, no, but there are really those types of person, and I used to be one actually.
Mhm.
And before, I find it very hard to delegate certain tasks because I don't feel that they can do it the way I can do it. But then things change when I started to get big. So as your business grows, eventually, kasi you really cannot do it on your own. Eh. You cannot be all of them at once. And
Yes.
that's when I really started to delegate tasks. And when I was able to do it and, finding the right person for the job, naibsan talaga yung workload ko. Yun. So, for me, one of the things that would really help is the delegation of tasks.
Yes, tama yan. And it's also difficult if you micromanage, you
Yeah.
ba,
Yeah, that's
aside
true.
from stress mo sa talagang trabaho mo, you get stressed out pa kasi pag hindi niya nagagawa yung trabaho. Parang 'di ba, ganun siya. So
Totoo.
it's really
Especially
hard.
if, if you're a perfectionist.
Yes.
Oo,
And you
you
have
tend
your
to
own
micromanage
standard, 'di ba?
everything.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you know how to do the job and then
Yes.
somehow yung result na ini-expect mo ay hindi na meet, 'di
Mm-hmm.
ba? It's really stressful then. But then again, yun nga, sabi mo nga, we really have to learn how to delegate, 'di ba?
Yes.
So it's also important that we train also the employees para
Mm-hmm.
kahit hindi tayo nakatingin or we don't micromanage them, more or less, ano siya, yung result is yun talaga yung in-expect natin.
Mm-mm.
Another factor is goal setting. In any activity we have, it's very important that we know what we want to achieve. It has to be SMART, SMART, which stands for being specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. So using the SMART method is one way of checking if our goals are realistic. Minsan kasi, we also have to check ourselves. Baka naman yung goals natin masyadong far-fetched or masyadong unrealistic. And it will only lead
Yeah.
us to disappointment. Diba? So personally, I have divided my goals. No, I have short-term goals, which is about 1 to 3 years, mid-term goals, about 4 to 6 years, and long-term goals, 7 years onwards. So, yun, that is my personal classification. So, you can also customize according to your current situation. It depends, diba? So, classifying them as such will steer you in the direction you want to go and consequently help you achieve your goals.
Yeah. Very well said, Carla, no? Yung goal setting talaga. And I remembered when you mentioned about SMART. Ako,
Yeah.
that's a Six Sigma topic.
Yes.
Okay,
Oo.
anyway, another factor that we find very useful is self-motivation, basic self-motivation. So this includes finishing all your tasks early. So it's better to finish everything ahead of deadline than to procrastinate and sometimes, put off everything until the last minute. Actually, when you procrastinate, there are advantages and there are also disadvantages.
Mhm.
So siguro you have to weigh your options.
Mhm.
Um, so apart from procrastination, not only will you stress about the deadline, but it will also affect the quality of your work. Of
Mhm.
course, diba? There will always be tamad days. I mean, it's something that we really cannot control. Or there are really instances now when you wake up in the morning, oh my God, it's a drag going to work on a
Yes.
Monday.
Mm-mm.
And then there are times naman na siglang-sigla ka and you're really excited to go to work and, finish everything.
Mhm.
So, you can also feel under the weather. Sometimes, yun nga, yung especially if it's a bad weather,
Yes. Oo.
especially
Madalas yan
parating ngayon
ngayon.
ng, ang typhoon, ako gusto
Mm.
mo laging natutulog na lang.
Tama.
That's why, you really have to be self-motivated.
Mhm.
Because when you are motivated, then you're always encouraged to go to work. You're always committed to go to work.
Mhm.
And dito papasok yung biggest why mo eh. Yung why
Yes.
factor na bakit ka nga ba kailangan gawin to? Bakit nga ba you have to wake up early to do this and that? And, one of the biggest answers is really your why factor. So, for me, self-motivation really plays a vital role pagdating sa time management.
Yes, tama yan. And for our last tip, ito sa akin very important to na very often ay neglected. Diba? So, our last tip is learn when to take a rest. As much as we live in this fast-paced life where everything is rushed, I find that taking a rest is one of the most important things to prioritize. We are still human. We are not machines. Kung ang machines or gadgets nga kailangan i-charge tayo pa kaya? 'Di ba? Si Lord nga nagpahinga on the seventh day, tayo pa kaya? 'Di ba? That's why it's very important to set aside some time for ourselves. We need to recharge. Do what relaxes you, it makes you happy. You can sleep, watch movies, read a book, practice skincare. Whatever that will make you happy and lift your spirits up. After all, we owe it to ourselves after all the hard work.
Yeah, tama yun, no? So, we had self-motivation, we
Mhm.
had goal setting, we had what else,
Planning.
Carla, before planning.
Mhm.
So, basically, these are just some of the factors no na tayo ourselves as co-hosts here would want to share to
Mhm.
them. And there are actually other things pa on how to really do time management.
Mhm. Yes.
So, yun. So there you guys have it. We hope na you enjoyed another episode of Uptown TV. We hope na you learned something from this episode. And, should you have specific topics in mind and, you want to talk about it, please message us in our social media handles in Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Uptown TV Media. And also, of course, follow us, like, and subscribe for more informative discussion.
Stay tuned for our next episode here in Uptown TV. This is Carla.
And this is Wendy saying adios, ciao, goodbye.